What's been going on with our life? What has been happening over the last 10 months nearly? Wow, time has flown. Well, I've left a very 30-year toxic relationship. That's been the main change in my life, and for the good. Finally, I'm surrounded by loving family members, a brand new grandson, birds, Bambi, and a great care team through the Disability Trust. So mentally, I am so much better than I have been. Sitting in a house alone with pondering of many thoughts, not just of suicide, but of thoughts of why the fuck did I get myself into this situation? And I did. I got myself into this situation because I didn't know how to get out of it. I mean, the word I think of the most is enabler. Unfortunately, my two beautiful children they've grown up in a toxic relationship. My daughter, who is now married and got a beautiful son, has changed her life around, turned it around. She certainly doesn't have the same type of foundation that I had, or I thought I had, in a fake relationship, because it wasn't happy at all. Hey, Bams. But yeah, I'm out of it now and don't really want to relive my past, but one real reason for getting back on here is because lately all you hear about on the news is about domestic violence, coercive control, coercive all types of nature. And it's a really big thing, and I'm glad that the government's now recognising that they're having to fork out so much money to people that are going through these experiences to heal and get better. And now if they put some preventative measurements in, hopefully, I mean, I don't think you'll ever eradicate domestic violence, that's for sure. It's instilled into people's brains. Specific age groups especially. I mean, I grew up and I lived in a toxic family where my mother used to beat my father, and it was joked upon, frowned upon then, because a woman, it was funny to hit a man and if you're a woman. But then coming from the other end of it, the male hitting the female or the male hitting someone else, it's just terrible. It's atrocious. It doesn't matter who hits you, it's atrocious. So I have decided to end a 30-year relationship because after 4 reconciliations, both of us, not just him, not just me alone, but both of us, couldn't change enough for it to stop impacting on my children's life and my life. So I actually feel like, and I've had consistent therapy, I've kept and maintained appointments with my GP and my other allied health professionals, like I said, therapists, medication has all helped me to at least recognise now that you need to have family around. It's not good to be coercively controlled to the extent where you've got no family and friends surrounding you, yet you do have them, but you don't have them in your life. Okay, off you go. So that's the tragic side of domestic violence, is you allow yourself to have these measures sort of put upon yourself. I don't really know the entire words to describe it, but yeah, but look, mental health wise, I have definitely improved. I have family around now, so now it took me a little bit of getting used to the fact that I had my daughter, my son-in-law, my son in the same house all together, and then my grandchild. So it's taken a bit to adapt and get used to that, but certainly a lot happier, and I'm glad with who I am. Whereas before I was ashamed of who I was, but now I don't think I can probably honestly say that I don't carry 100% shame like I used to. There's a little piece there in the background, and that sort of stems from enabling my poor choices to affect my children. However, my daughter's turned out to be a beautiful person. She's a beautiful mother, and I make sure I tell her that very often. My son, he used to walk around the house with a mopey, sad face, and I've got to tell you now, he walks around with a smile on his face. He appreciates being in the environment that he is in. He's got the ability now to make some great choices of his own. He's a man. On next year he turns 18. So, you know, a lot's changing for everybody, not just for me. So I found it very difficult to speak about, predominantly because I'm afraid of his side of the family finding out about things. I guess I feel ashamed for that reason. However, at the same time, it's not shame, it's just disappointment. And I guess on both fronts, myself and on them. You know, I asked for help from them for a long time, but never got it. They've got their own issues, but I'm not going to dwell on that. I said to myself, if I was going to make this video, I wasn't going to dwell on things of that nature. I'm not ready to give you examples of what I went through, but I'm ready to acknowledge that I'm a survivor, and my choice is to make sure that my son and my daughter and my grandchild don't make those poor decisions for themselves in the future. It's important that they don't. But my daughter and son-in-law have got their own, they've grown too. They've gotten used to each other, and they'll show him the right way to grow. But yes, I didn't want to give you any examples of what I experienced during the times of domestic violence. But I guess I can say that they were quite violent moments. I went to a refuge twice because of physical violence. There was a lot of mental abuse, physical and emotional, religious even. I can even say that I'd experienced rape during my marriage. No means no. That's it. And I respect that, and so should everyone else out there that enter into a relationship. So yeah, and I never really thought of it as that because I was married, but it wasn't something I wanted at the time. So, and I made my feelings known, but unfortunately they weren't respected. So yes, rape can occur during a marriage. So if you're a woman out there and you've said no, just know that that is rape. It's a hard word, it's a heavy word, but it's the truth. So I think you all know now that I have FND, functional neurological disorder. That stems from the trauma in my life. So when I was younger, being molested. I'm assuming too that my domestic violent relationship has a bit to do with that as well. And I do suffer with pain. So pain and emotional stuff is my trigger, I guess, is what I've discovered. So yeah, I can, basically what it means to me is I could wake up of a morning and my lower limbs are paralysed and I can't walk. I don't know for how long. I don't know how long it's going to last for. I don't know how often it's going to happen. As it turns out, nothing may trigger it, but it just happens. It's a pathway to my lower limbs that say, okay, your legs ain't working today. Basically what it is, really. But yeah, everything is a-okay. I have 3 birds now, peach faces. They've just had 3 other birds that have been hatched, and they're 29 days old and 27 days old. So I'm a mother to some birds now, and I've got 3 lovebirds, but one of them needs a partner, which is why I wanted the hatchlings to come along. And because there's only 3, I've adopted the other 2 out to someone close by. So yeah, so I've got them as well as Bambi. No fish, no cats, no nothing else. That's enough for me. We're in the midst of moving all together, so it's glorious. It is glorious at the moment. I do have my bad days as well. I have my days where I get quite depressed, but I have people around me that love me and care for me, and that's the important part of getting away from that domestic violence situation. You've got to break clear. You have to break clear, and yes, I attempted 4 times to do that, but this time it's a whole different ball game. I've got a different mindset, different beliefs. I'm definitely not being able to. I definitely don't have that question in my head. What if? You know, to excuse all the behaviour and then to get back into the relationship thinking it's going to be so perfect. But it's that cycle, isn't it, really? And it's always been the cycle. For 30 years it's been that cycle. Longer, but still vaping, unfortunately. Hoping to get that off soon because the market's changed in Australia. Yeah, so I really don't want to make it too long, but I did want to explain to you where I've been, what I've been doing. And I guess until this moment, I really wasn't ready to make any videos, but now I have. I will upload them ASAP. So you guys take care. I hope that if you are in a domestic violence situation, I hope that you know there is help out there. There's DV Connect, there's 13 Respect, there's 000. Especially when you've got kids, you don't want to raise them knowing that this is the norm of society when it's not the norm. It's not the norm at all. The norm is a loving environment that can teach you how to be empowered. Not just because you're a woman, but because you're a man as well. You don't have to be a woman for violence to occur. You can be a male as well. So look back at your life and ask yourself this question. What I ask myself is, do you really think you're doing the right thing by hanging around, especially for your kids? Because it doesn't work that way all the time. If both parties aren't willing to change, then it's not going to change. So thank you all very much for listening and watching. I hope that you are all well and feeling as much love as I am at the moment. Take care, and as I used to say before, bye for now.